Alright. So, one more choice when it comes to helping Kirahi. This is not a choice between something that you do or don't do. This is a choice to actively screw Kirahi over for your own benefit. There are security consoles here. Using these consoles, you can tap into base security. You can cut the alarms to make your own trip through the base easier. But you can also trigger alarms on Kirahi's side of the base and send enemy reinforcements that way to get them out of your hair. I never do that. Gameplay-wise, they're pushovers, and even if they weren't, I'd feel like a dick. Also, that's...
Well, I mean, you're the main character, so you're going to kill them all anyway,
yeah,
so...
it also has a different disadvantage in the sense that it sends potential experience points away from your team. You know? Like, it's not like you get experience compensation if you send them off to fight someone else.
And then she got abducted by aliens. Which I guess in this universe could really be as simple as like getting a ride to the bus station or something. I mean,
abducted by aliens is human speak for kidnapping these days.
Well, technically you are being abducted by aliens.
Oh, man. Oh, jeez.
So is there
Okay.
any is there any what's it called? Penalty? Well, not penalty, but do they like call you out on it if you send them extra enemies?
I don't know. I don't think they ever
No.
find out that it was you, but it does certainly hurt their chances of surviving.
Yeah, they never know it was you. They just lose a whole bunch of people.
Yeah. That enemy that I just killed went down pretty fast, but watch out for those. The big red Geth. Those aren't Geth destroyers. Those are Geth juggernauts. They're huge, they're tough, and they have rocket launchers.
And they have crappy catchphrases.
That too, probably. But yeah, I used stasis on it just to get it to sit still for a couple seconds and reassess my own party situation. But I realized that all the other enemies in the room were dead, so I kind of wasted stasis there. But Geth juggernauts are a bit of a pain in the ass, and my go-to tactic when I fight a group of enemies with a juggernaut in the middle is to cast stasis on the juggernaut to shut it up for a little bit, so that I can focus on its henchmen. Because a Geth juggernaut isn't too hard to take down when it's just the juggernaut, but when it's in a group, well, it's kind of hard to focus on taking down the juggernaut with a bunch of enemies peppering you with gunfire. And if you're focusing on taking those down, well, you're dividing your attention, and you're probably going to get hit by a rocket at some point. Alright, well, man, you know, I miss the door panels from Mass Effect 1. I miss having physical computer panels next to my doors that I have to turn and open, because that feels authentic, and like having the computer panel be a hologram in the middle of the door that's in the dead center, like the front door bag end. It's kind of
and I'm sure that the door's sound effects sound better on vinyl too.
What's wrong with just knobs?
We've evolved past that.
Man, I miss Thaco. Does anyone else miss Thaco? No, just me. I don't miss Thaco. I'm kidding. Thaco was awful.
I don't even know what Thaco is.
2-hit armor class 0 is the convoluted defense system.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Now I kind of know what that is.
Basically, armor class 0 is the baseline for all accuracy attack scores, and you increased it by either being faster or having better armor. But increasing it is actually decreasing it. See, you want to have negative numbers on your armor class, because that means you're not hitting armor class 0, you're hitting armor class -3, and it's going to be harder to hit you. It's easy enough to understand once you get that basic principle, but it's such a complicated system for such a basic thing as an attack roll. Ugh.
Others died during the experiments.
This guy doesn't sound like he
Well, I
cares
think
about
more
anything.
like he's just
This guy is...
devoid of hope.
They were studying indoctrination.
This guy
Symptoms, progress.
is indoctrinated.
Saren uses
He doesn't
is he?
know it,
control his people to
and you're not going to know it.
understand
In fact, you're not going to know it, I think, until like Mass Effect 3 when you find out this Solarian guy just shot his
End up like
teammates.
that, please. Let me out.
Wait, you don't find out until that
So
late,
what,
really?
being indoctrinated is a slow
Yeah, I think so.
process?
I might be mixing it up with something else, but yeah, there are two forms of indoctrination as I went before. There's the slow, subtle kind that lets a mole last a very long time, and they might not necessarily know they're indoctrinated. It's just a thing that's at the back of their head somewhere. Then there are the crazy pants people like these guys who are just, you know, out to lunch. In fact, these guys are so out to lunch that when you open the door for them, they just sit there until the nuke happens.
Wow, how rude. They could have at least gotten you some lunch.
All right, Commander, but I don't like it.
I don't care what you like, Caden.
It calls and I must follow. It never
Oh,
sleeps.
so just because they're indoctrinated doesn't mean they're exactly hostile?
Santa.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it's kind of like being brainwashed. Like if their goal, if the goal at that point is not for them to kill people, it's like to gather information. They can pretend to be friendly.
Indoctrination can work in a number of ways. Sometimes it just tricks you into believing something, and you think it's your own thought, but it's not. And that's what's happening to Saren right now. But it's basically the way that indoctrination works when the Reapers want to have a long-term spy in their enemies' ranks.
Now, in terms of Mass Effect 1's plot, how much about the Reapers do we know at this point?
In Mass Effect 1's plot, they're basically Lovecraftian abominations that you can't comprehend.
Yeah, but like, do we even know they exist at this point in the game? Because it's mostly been like Geth and stuff at this point.
Not yet.
The Reapers have been mentioned. In fact, they were mentioned as early on as the information Tally brought us on the Citadel way back at the beginning of the game. This is the mission where we speak to one for the first time and find out that they are real, that they are sentient, that they are AIs, and that we're fucking screwed if we don't take them down.
Just whispers and poking.
Now, this is the third case of indoctrination where they've indoctrinated someone quickly
A little payback.
and with blunt force trauma, but haven't gone so far as to jellify their brains.
The effect of incessant work.
So he knows that he's being indoctrinated.
I just need help.
He knows that he's hearing incessant whispering.
If we don't let him out, he's as good as dead. We
But
have
the
to
moment
do
you open this door, guess what? They locked him in here with a gun.
It's too small and the noise just won't go away.
At least I think they locked him in here with a gun. He might just attack you with his bare hands, but if he does that, he's even farther gone than I remember.
You could help us.
Okay, let's see.
Yes, sir. You'll find I am very good at following orders. I should be. I hear them over and over. Why are they repeated when they are so simple? So damn simple!
He didn't even do anything. He was just shouting very loudly.
Oh, there was a second Solarian and a third Solarian that all opened up at the same time, and they burst out with guns. They have guns. They were locked in their jail cells with guns.
Oh, so
What?
oh no, that's completely normal. Whenever I'm playing a JRPG and I'm locked in a jail cell, I have my sword with me all the time. That's just how they do it, right?
Especially in Chrono's village.
Well, you see, they're experimenting here. I think they wanted to see if these Solarians might kill themselves, but they didn't. Note that they didn't.
Yeah.
Indoctrination would make that, something that they wouldn't be inclined to do, because they need to stay alive to follow their orders.
So, fun fact about that guy, if you don't let him out, he actually runs right into the door and knocks himself out.
He runs into the door and slams his face into the glass, and it's slapstick at its finest. Oh, man.
He's shooting him with a shotgun at point blank range right after he opened the door. Wasn't?
Christ, you didn't even let him attack you. He just...
Okay, anyone...
Hey, I said I would open the door. I never said I'd let you out.
Applesauce, bitch.
Anyone who wants to see the hilarious parts of these games, look up the series of videos called Commander Shepard is a Jerk. There's one for each game, and every one is just a montage of hilarity from start to finish.
Now I'm curious.
It doesn't stick just to the renegade options either. Sometimes it's just stuff Shepard says or does or interacts with that are funny on their own.
Yeah, but does it have moon buggy physics?
No, it's all cutscene stuff.
Aww.
It's all dialogue and cutscenes and that sort of thing.
Ah.
No surprise shotgunning.
That's just how they test for effectiveness.
Now here's the thing. Whenever you have one of these slow-moving elevators in a combat mission, and you start it up with your weapon out, Shepard will be stuck in place, but you'll be able to turn around and aim.
I think you just... Did you just, like, run into him in the shower?
He's sort of being suspended in place. This is an experiment room where they're experimenting with husks, obviously. So they have containment. They have Mass Effect containment fields to keep the husks in place, so that they don't rampage around the lab and kill everyone, basically. Oh God. I'm near my item limit, and you know what that means? It means two things. It means I need to clear out my inventory soon, and it means I need to scroll through my inventory in order to do that. Why? Ugh.
Well, that just means you gotta... Whenever I get to this point in the game, like whenever I'm reaching an item limit, I just use potions. And even if it's not, like, effective, like, it's like, oh... Well, I'm gonna throw this out anyway, so here, if you took 1 damage, have a potion.
Unfortunately, there's no way to do that.
A paper cut.
There are only 2 things that you can do with your extra items. You can sell them for credits, and you'll get a lot of credits that way by this point in the game. Or you can reduce them to Omni Gel to clear out space, which is basically destroying items in other RPGs, except you get a boost to your Omni Gel count as compensation for doing so. But Omni Gel caps out at 999. So if you have 999, you don't get anything.
Twilight Princess.
You really are better off holding on to as much of your inventory as you can and selling everything beneath your current equipment level once you get back to the ship. You'll get a lot of credits that way. And you'll usually be able to buy at least 1 or 2 things with those credits that are an upgrade to what you currently have. Ugh. But whenever you pick up treasure while you've got a maxed out inventory, you basically have to go through your entire inventory, decide what you want to keep or what you want to delete. At that point, you just scroll all the way down to the bottom and delete however many level 1 or 2 or 3 items that you happen to have on you that you don't want to keep anymore. But you gotta make sure not to delete the anti-thorian gas, because you're gonna want that when you run into thorian creepers later in the game, especially on insanity difficulty. And well, there's only 1 anti-thorian gas grenade upgrade in the game, so you want to keep that in your inventory. But it appears mixed in with all the other level 1 crap.
Why is Shepard just carrying around 12 extra level 1 guns, anyway?
I don't even know where she's keeping them. I mean, I see 5 guns on Shepard, 5 guns on Rex, 5 guns on...
What is it about... Like, I mean, granted, you know, you can ask these same kind of questions in other games, too. Like, where do we keep 99 potions? Or whatever. In a Final Fantasy. But it just seems to make less sense. Like, you think about it more in this kind of game. Not that it makes less sense.
WRPGs are usually pretty in-depth with their inventory systems. Like, with BioWare's previous games, you have a weight limit on your inventory that basically represents your pack and all the stuff that you've got in it. And it can be a little bit ridiculous in Dragon Age that you can carry around all these weapons, but there is at least an upper limit to what you're carrying. So you can just imagine it being all bundled up in a pack and slung over your back when you're not fighting. But with Ultima, it's even more in depth, because you've got your backpack and then you've got bags that you keep inside your backpack, and and then there's a bag for your runes, and another pack, and oh god, it's crazy. And you store stuff in boxes inside rooms, and everything is a container, and the containers are just a mess of icons for every item that you put in there, and they're all different sizes. Wow.
Yeah, that's why I kind of just prefer it being all in a list. Like,
well, there's a certain amount of immersion to that, but it's also a very big micromanagement task. So the best middle ground, as far as the best two middle grounds, are grid-based weight systems where you have a certain number of spaces and you also have a certain amount of weight that you can carry. It's like a Resident Evil 4 briefcase
Where an
combined.
egg is the size of an egg.
Yeah, it does that. Neverwinter Nights does that kind of thing, I think, where you have a grid that contains your stuff, and you also have a certain amount that you can carry. And Might and Magic does that. It works well when it's done right, and it actually adds some kind of strategy to how you carry and organize your inventory for quick access to certain things, you know? Anyway, this is Rana Thanoptis. This is the one Paragon choice in the entire series that you are going to feel really bad about later. But again, the only reason you'll find out about it is a news broadcast in Mass Effect 3. But here's the choice.
Why is that?
Here's the thing. You have an opportunity to correct this. If you let Rana Thanoptis go in Mass Effect 1, she shows up in a very suspicious position in Mass Effect 2, and you can either kill her or let her go there too. If you let her go both times, it turns out she's fully indoctrinated and she goes on a killing spree. Good job, Commander. Sure made the right call there, didn't you? I mean, these people are dead, but at least your honor is satisfied.
Batman doesn't kill.
It is actually kind of funny to let her go this first time, though. Because you, like, tell her, I'm gonna bomb this place to hell, and if you're not out of here, well, you're fucked.
But I don't have to save you.
you know, Batman, in this case, one could very easily argue that you are essentially killing him in this.
Well, Ross is the one who started the train in the first place, so he's killing himself.
Nah, man.
Yeah, it's not like Batman sabotaged the train or anything.
I will say that constantly going through treasure chests for random items, as much as I like looting stuff, it does drag down the pace of the game quite a bit. I mean, just compared to Mass Effect 2 and 3, when you find something in Mass Effect 3, and there are things to find, pieces of armor and stuff, there's like a few per mission, and there are boxes on shelves that you pick up, and it says, hey, you've got this new piece of armor, go check it out on your ship when you have the time. When you find stuff in Mass Effect 2, it's pretty much the same deal. You find it, it's yours, you can mess with it when you're back on the ship between missions. But, in Mass Effect 1, you're constantly finding useless crap that you're just going to sell later. And it's like looting bodies in Baldur's Gate, except Baldur's Gate is not a shooter.
Do 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 do. Oh, that was short.
Yeah, that was like an elevator ride up one floor.
Oh, you're one of those people.
Hey, sometimes you just can't be bothered, alright?
Well, it's the only way.
It's like 10 steps.
It's the only way in or out of this room. There is no staircase.
You sure there
Anyway,
isn't?
here's the Prothean beacon. It has apparently been upgraded to have a control panel to make sure it doesn't activate spontaneously.
Rip and tear, Shepard. Rip and tear.
But now we're going to see the complete vision, or at least we're going to see the complete vision when Liara decrypts it for us later.
You know, the close-ups of her face there, it kind of just looks like she's getting spoiled to the next Game of Thrones episode.
Oh, man. Oh, jeez.
Okay, let's go.
So, except for Chinese.
I'm sure that was nothing important at all.
Here's a Reaper.
It was the extra information we need to find Ilos, but it also activated a communications panel, which connects directly to the antagonist of the game, Sovereign, the Reaper who is tasked by the other Reapers with making sure that the galaxy is ready for the mass extinction wave, and sending a signal to open a certain mass relay in a certain location so that the rest of the Reapers can just pour in and begin their campaign.
What's next? You're going to say you're a Legion as well?
No. This isn't Legion.
It's an actual Reaper.
Although...
Oh, there is a Legion.
There is a Legion, and it's not a Reaper.
In Mass Effect, yes.
I think the Reapers might say that we are Legion line at some point, but there is a character who actually uses the Bible quote, we are Legion, to get a name for himself.
So the Reapers is just something that the Protheans call them, and they don't really have a name. That's it. What do you think they do call themselves?
Well, as far as they're concerned.
Yeah.
We are so advanced, we have gone beyond the need for names.
We are eternal. We are the pinnacle. You can't comprehend us. Help us comprehend you, you fucking asswipe.
Nah.
Just tell us why you're doing this shit.
Nah, annihilating's way
like
more
a
fun.
deep
You should
growling
try
voice like that,
sometime.
just giving you a simple nah.
There's an entire galaxy of races.
You see, here's the thing about the Reapers being incomprehensible. Even the original plot plan with the dark energy and shit would have been so much simpler if Sovereign just told Shepard, hey, the universe will die if civilization keeps going. We're doing this to make sure life keeps happening. You know? So the galaxy doesn't burn up.
Yeah, we just need to kill everyone to make sure that nobody dies.
Well, in that situation, it did make sense because the original ending was mass relay, not mass relays, but element zero technology was would gradually erode the lifespan of basically all the stars in the galaxy, and that would be the end permanently. And if they kept basically mowing the lawn, it wouldn't overgrow itself and strangle itself, and life would continue to exist and thrive in the galaxy. They just had to make sure it developed along certain lines, and then when it got to a certain point, cut it down. Easy.
That's the same plot as Gurren Lagann, actually.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Gurren Lagann's way more awesome.
It's just like, they changed writers and then changed tracks to something even more simplistic than that.
We are the Alpha and the Omega.
We have no beginning, we have no end. You have a beginning, you liar.
So they had an original plan for the story, and then it changed later on.
It changed in Mass Effect 3. They started to lay the groundwork for Mass Effect 3's ending in Mass Effect 2, but
this doesn't sound too different from the Matrix, to be perfectly honest.
What do you want from us? Slaves, resources?
I don't have to explain anything to you. I'm doing... See this middle finger? I'm doing it so hard.
You cannot fathom this.
The Reapers are basically... The Reapers are basically trying to be robotic elder gods from beyond the edges of the galaxy. But
You're not even alive.
it just sort of...
Really? You're just a machine.
Even in its current state, that's not exactly what they are. Like, we have no beginning. Well, you have to have a beginning, you dumbass. It's not like you were born a robot.
Well, I mean... Okay, I'm not going to go into that.
Machines can be broken, and so can people. Just ask Batman.
Nah, it's not like you've always existed. It's not like you're this giant robot cuttlefish spaceship and you created God and God created the universe. No. You were built. You were built. And in Mass Effect 2, you actually find out other Reapers are built by the Reapers. So individual Reapers do in fact have beginnings. This Sovereign asshole is trying to hold himself up as some kind of god to your face, lying about his origins.
Well, are we talking about, like, comic book universal expansion stuff, or trying to take this somewhat seriously?
Wait, what do you mean?
How in, like, comic books, there's, like, all the other universes, and they just come and go as they please.
Oh, man.
I choose not to take things seriously because they're more fun that way.
But in Universe 12, Ted, all this other crap happened.